Hello and welcome back to the lesson. In this video, we're going to be learning about images in HTML. Images can improve the design and the appearance of our web pages. So we're going to be learning in this lesson how we go about adding image to our web pages. So let's go ahead and do that. Well, images can be embedded onto our web pages using the image tag. So let's go ahead and see how we go about that. Now, if you come over here for Visual Studio users, all you need to do, you can go ahead and type in the shortcut. You can say IMG and hit enter, and everything about the image tag will be auto-completed to you. So this attribute src is a required attribute that specifies the path to the image that we wanted to embed onto our website, and the alt attribute right here specified an alternate text for the image. For instance, if the image failed to display, then the text that we're going to be providing inside the alt attribute will describe the image. For instance, in the case of people who are using screen readers to read the content of a website, even though they can't be able to see the image, but they can at least know the description of the image, which is exactly what we're going to be pressing inside the alt attribute right here. So let's go ahead and see that for ourselves. Now, first of all, inside of our project folder right here, if you take a look, I've added an image, which is right here, and I went ahead to create another folder called images, and within our folder I've added another image. So you're going to want to go ahead and do that as well. Just get at least 2 images or 1 and save it inside of your project folder right here, and you'll be good to go. And this is basically our HTML document, HTML file. Now let's go back to Visual Studio Code. If you come over here to our File Explorer, you're going to see this is our image that we've added, and this is the folder that we've created, and within the folder we have our image right here. So I'm going to go ahead and first of all add this our image right here, meaning this very image inside of our web page. So all you need to do is to go ahead and copy the image name. Okay, let's go ahead and say rename, copy everything including the extension, which is .jpg. So go ahead and copy. Or you can simply come over here inside your File Explorer within your Visual Studio Code and right click and say rename, copy everything, the entire name, copy, and let's go ahead and close our image right here. And now within our src right here, let's go ahead and expand this, close this. Okay, now within the src we're going to go ahead and paste our image name, so go ahead and paste it like so. And that's all we have to do to embed image onto our web page. Now all we need to do is to go ahead and save our file. Let's go ahead and say save. Yes, as you can see, now we have our image embedded onto our web page. Let me actually go ahead and expand this browser. As you can see, the image fills our entire web page. Okay, so let's go ahead and see how we control that. Let me actually take this to the side. All right, so we can go ahead and use the width attribute and height attribute to, control the size of this our image. As you can see, by default our image is covering everything inside of our web page. So let's come over here and let's say we want to add the width attribute and set the width to, let's say, 400 pixels. Now let's go ahead and save our file. And as you can see, our image is now resized to 400 pixels, which is very, very cool. So friend, this is basically how we go about adding image or embedding image onto our HTML page. Now let's go ahead and add the alternate text. Let's come over here. Let's go ahead and say a programmer, something like this. All right, let me actually go ahead and expand our window right here. Okay, something like this. Okay, I say programmer. So let's go ahead and save our file. All right, now that we have the alternate text, okay, now as you can see, nothing happened. But in case if the image refused to load, maybe due to low internet connection or something else or mistake in the URL, let me actually go ahead and change something. Let me delete this. As you can see, we have tampered with the image extension, so this image should not work properly, should somehow break. So let's go ahead and save our file. Now, as you can see, now after saving the file, our image is not loading because we have some typo here in the extension, and for that reason we are getting the alternate text right here, a programmer. So this is basically the advantage of using the alt attribute right here. So let's go ahead and fix our image .jpg. All right, something like this. Now let's go ahead and save our file. As you can see, our image is back. Alright, so we can as well go ahead and use the style attribute that we've been using in the previous videos. Let's say style and specify the width. Let's say this time around 500 pixels, and we can as well add a height to, let's say, 500 pixels as well. Now let's go ahead and save our file. Alright, as you can see, now our image has been resized to 500 pixel in both height and width, which is very cool. Alright, now let's go back to our source code right here. Alright, now we're going to talk about image in another folder, how to reference image from another folder. So if you have your image in a subfolder, you must include the subfolder name in order for you to reference the image within the source or the src attribute. So let's go ahead and say, for instance, now that we have an image inside this folder called images, if we wanted to reference this image, if we wanted to add this image to our web browser, we need to first of all tell the browser that the image is within the images folder and then the image name. So let's go ahead and do that. First of all, we're going to go ahead and copy our file name. Let me actually go ahead and use our file explorer right here inside Visual Studio Code. Alright, let me actually go ahead and open our folder, navigate inside of our image folder, and we're going to go ahead and copy the image name, rename, copy everything. Alright, and now we're going to come over here to our source code, and instead of calling this image, I'm going to go ahead and say, let's say inside the images folder. As you can see, it made some suggestion. This is the beauty of using Visual Studio Code. So within the images folder / and then we're going to go ahead and paste our image name, which is consoler.jpg. So let's go ahead and paste our image name, consoler.jpg. Now we're going to go ahead and save our file. As you can see, now we have referenced the inner image, the image within our subfolder called images, and everything is perfect. It's using the width and height that we specified here from the previous image, which is very cool. Let me actually make this like so. Perfect. Alright, let's actually go ahead and reduce the width and height. Let's go ahead and say we're going to set it to 400 width. Let me close this window. Okay, and here should be the height, should also be 400. Alright, let's go ahead and save our file. Okay, alright, as you can see, everything is good. So from that will be it for this video. I hope now the concept of embedding images onto our web pages is pretty much clear to you, and I hope you enjoyed the lesson, and I will see you in the next one.